Hello everyone, welcome to the session of Design of Machine Elements 1. So I am Purushottam, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. So in the previous session we learned design of the screw rod as well as the design of nut in a simple screw jack. That will be the frequently asked question in the examination. So in today's class we are going to see the complete design of the screw jack. Okay. So first I will read out the problem. Design a screw jack with a lift of 300 millimeter to lift a load of 50 kilonewton. Select C40 steel for screw and soft phosphorus bronze for nut. Okay. First I will extract the data what they are given. Okay. So we have to design a screw jack that has to lift a load of 50 kilonewton for a height of 300 millimeter. Then they are given the material for the screw as well as the nut. So the material for the screw is C40 steel. For that strength property is given. Then for material for the nut, which is soft phosphorus bronze, for that also the respective ultimate stress as well as the yield stress is given. Okay. So what they are given? The lift. So the load has to be lifted for a height of 300 millimeter. Then the load is 50 kilonewton. I am going to convert into Newton. In terms of Newton, that is 50 into 10 power 3 Newton. Then select C40 steel. Okay, for the screw. So for the screw material they are given C40 steel. Okay. Then with respect to that screw material, they are given the yield stress also, that is 328.6 megapascal. Okay. Then for the nut material, they are given soft phosphorus bronze. For the nut, they are given soft phosphor bronze, and with respect to this nut material they are given the ultimate stress sigma ut, which is 345 megapascal, and yield stress is 138 megapascal. So what we need to do? We have to design a screw jack. That means we have to design a screw rod, a screw head, a nut, tommy bar and cup and a body of the screw jack. Then we have to check for the efficiency and we have to check for the overhauling condition also. That means whether screw which is having a self-locking property or not. Okay, we have to check all these things. Okay, let us see step by step. So in the first step I am going to design a screw or a screw thread. So if you see this, I will draw a simple figure. So in that, what we need to find out? We need to find out this will be the D, small letter D, which represents the major diameter of the screw or thread. So this will be the D1 from ear to ear. So this will be the minor diameter of the screw thread. Then this one, D2, this will be the mean diameter. Then this will be the pitch. So that is, the pitch is the vertical distance or distance measured parallel to the axis. This will be the axis, the distance measured parallel to the axis from one point on the thread to the corresponding point on the adjacent thread. That is called as pitch. So we need to calculate, we need to find out major diameter, minor diameter, mean diameter and pitch of the screw thread as well as the length of the screw thread. So which is carried out in the next step. Now first to find out these things, so I need core area of the screw thread. Core area of the screw thread, which is given by the load to be lifted into load factor divided by allowable stress, that is sigma allowable or permissible stress. So in this equation I know the value of W. So the load factor and sigma allowable which is not known. So for this, first I am going to calculate the sigma allowable which is given by, so the screw which is made up of C40 steel. If in case they are not mentioned the screw material or the mechanical property of the screw material, then we have to take Arden steel, that is C40 steel as screw material. Then by using from table I.8 which is at page number 464, from that we need to calculate the sigma y. We need to take the sigma y, and for that corresponding we need to take the factor of safety as 3. Here also the allowable stress which is given by sigma y by factor of safety. So in this problem they are given the screw material, that is C40 steel. Then they also given the yield stress, that is 328.6. So for the screw material they are not given the factor of safety, so then we have to assume the factor of safety which is equal to 3. Factor of safety that is equal to 3. So if you are calculate this, then you will get 109.53 megapascal. 109.53 megapascal. Similarly, the allowable shear stress in the screw material which is given by, as we know that the screw material which is made up of C40 steel which is a ductile material, the allowable stress which is given by 0.5 times of allowable normal stress. Allowable normal stress. So from this you will get 0.5 times of, that is 109.53. If you are simplify this, then you will get 54.765 megapascal. 54.765 megapascal. Now in this equation I know the value of W as well as the allowable stress, but load factor, so load factor is not given. So for this we need to assume an overload of 25%. That means here in the first step we are going to design the screw or screw thread for a load of 50 kilonewton, which is 100% load. For 50 kilonewton we have to consider 100% load. So for the safety purpose, if in case the load exceed, then for the safety purpose we are going to take an overload of 25% while calculating the core area. So that means W. So here W is 50 kilonewton, 50 into 10 power 3. Load factor, for the load factor we have took an overload of 25%. That is for the 50 which is 100%, we are going to take excess of 25%, total 125%. So 125 by 100, so which is equal to 1.25. The load factor become 1.25. Then divided by sigma allowable, that is 109.53. So if you calculate this, then the core area from the calculation you will get 570.62 millimeter square. 570.62 millimeter square. Now from table 9.10, page number 149, for the square threads normal series, we need to calculate the diameters, that is major dia, minor dia, mean dia as well as the pitch value. So from the calculation we got the core area is 570.62 millimeter square. Now I am going for table number 9.10, which is at page number 149. In that the table heading which is having square thread normal series, as we know that the screw thread which is made up of square threads. Okay. So in that, so by taking this as reference, so in the table we have to search, so the value, the core area value which is equal to 570.62 or the next value. So we can't accept the lesser value. If the value is 570.62, but in the table the standard core area which is around 568, then we can't take down that. Just because as the area decreases, the stress will increases. So while searching the value of this 570.62, if it is available, then it's okay. Then we have to take the next closest value in the table. So from that the standard core area from the table, if you find out this, then you will get 616 millimeter square. 616 millimeter square. So for this corresponding core area, standard core area, so in the row we can get the major diameter, minor diameter as well as the major diameter of the nut and pitch value of the screw thread. The major diameter, which is equal to 34 millimeter, then minor diameter, that is given by D1, which is 28 millimeter. Then the pitch value is 6 millimeter. Then D of nut, in the same table we will get major diameter of the nut. So that is 34.5 millimeter. So if you found out this, then the mean diameter, which can be easily calculated. So mean dia, that is D2, which is given by major dia plus minor dia divided by 2, mean of major dia and minor dia. So which is given by 34 plus 28 divided by 2. So that is 31 millimeter. Mean dia is 31 millimeter. So from the table 9.10, with the respect to the calculated core area, we found out the standard core area. With respect to standard core area, the major diameter, minor diameter, pitch value and major diameter of the nut as well as the mean diameter, which is found out. So once you calculated these parameters, that is major dia, minor dia, pitch and major diameter of the nut and mean diameter, so then we go for check for the screw. That means, so the induced stress for the corresponding loading condition, which is less than permissible or allowable stress of the material, we need to check for this. So then only we can say, so based on these things, the designed screw is safe or not. So for this, so the screw which is subjected to compressive load. So just because the load which is placed on the cup, so that compressive load which is going to exerted on the screw as well. So compressive load as well as the torsion which is induced in the screw due to the rotation of the screw. That means which is also subjected to the shear stress. The screw which is subjected for combined loading condition, that is compressive stress as well as the shear stress. Based on this, we need to calculate the maximum normal stress induced and maximum shear stress induced. Then we are going to compare with the allowable normal stress and allowable shear stress. If it is less than that values induced stress, then which is safe. So for this, so I am going for checking for screw in that, so which is induced by compressive stress, the sigma c, which is given by load by standard core area. So we need to consider the standard core area, just because based on this standard core area only we got these parameters. Okay. So load is 50 kilonewton, 50 into 10 power 3, standard core area which is 616. So if you are calculated this, then sigma c which is 81.1688 megapascal. So the compressive stress induced in the screw due to the compressive load which is 81.1688. Then which is also subjected for shear stress, that is which is also subjected for torsional moment. So the torsional moment induced in the screw induced in the screw. That is, the torque required to raise the load, which is given by T, which is equal to W d2 by 2 tan of phi plus alpha, tan of phi plus alpha. So, which is available in the data handbook 9.11b, 9.11b, page number 132, page number 132. So, that is the torque required to raise the load, which is given by W d2 by 2 tan of phi plus alpha. So, then which is simplified as W d2 by 2. So, tan of A plus P, which is in the form of tan of A plus P, which is given by tan phi plus tan alpha divided by 1 minus tan phi into tan alpha. That is tan of A plus P, which is given by tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A into tan B. Tan B. Here tan phi which is equal to F, that is coefficient of friction. Tan phi which is given by F, that is coefficient of friction. Coefficient of friction. So, in the corresponding problem, in this problem they are not given the coefficient of friction. So, for this we need to go for table 9.3 in the page number. So, page number is 136. So, in this we have to choose heavy machine oil. For heavy machine oil, the value F, which is given by 0.14. So, from table 9.3, which is at page number 136, for heavy machine oil, coefficient of friction, which is given by 0.14. Then, so in this W is known, D2 is known, tan phi, which is also known, that is F, then tan alpha. So, tan alpha, which is given by so from the inclined plane concept, which is given by L by pi d2. So, assume single start thread. So, for the single start thread, L value, which is equal to pitch, the lead, which is equal to pitch. From this, tan alpha, which is given by L value, which is equal to pitch, means pitch value is how much? Pitch is 6 mm by pi d2. D2 is mean diameter is 31 mm, which is given by 0.0616. So, from this equation we know all these values. Then the torsional moment, which is also given by pi by 16 d1 cube into tau, that is pi by 16 d1 cube into tau. So, this will be came from, so as we know that shear stress, which is given by T into R by J, that is T by sectional modulus. If you are going to simplify this, then you will get this equation here. The D1, that is the minor diameter of the thread, is considered. Now, if you can see, so I will call this as equation A, this will be equation B. So, the LHS of these both equation are same. So, now I am going to equate the RHS. So, that is given by, so LHS is here W d2 by 2, then tan phi, which is given by F, plus tan alpha, then 1 minus tan phi is given by F, tan alpha. So, which is equal to, here in the equation B, the RHS, this will be RHS of equation A, this will be RHS of equation B, which is given by pi by 16 d1 cube into tau, d1 cube into tau. Now I am going to substitute the values and simplify to, I am going to calculate the shear stress induced, that is W is 50 into 10 power 3, d2 is 31 by 2, F is 0.14, then tan alpha is 0.0616, then 1 minus F is 0.14 into tan alpha is 0.0616 equals pi by 16 d1 cube. D1 is minor dia, that is 28 mm, that is 28 cube into shear stress. In the whole equation, the only unknown thing is the shear stress. If you are simplify this, then you will get 36.56 megapascal. 36.56 megapascal. So this will be the shear stress induced due to the rotation of the screw. This will be the compressive stress induced due to the compressive load on the screw. Okay, we are calculated the individual stress acting on the screw, that is compressive stress and shear stress. Now we are going to take the combined effect. So by calculating maximum normal stress induced and maximum shear stress induced in the screw. So maximum normal stress, which is given by sigma by 2 plus square root of sigma by 2 whole square plus tau square, which is available in the data handbook 1.5a page number 3. Here the normal stress induced is compressive stress. So for this alteration, instead of sigma I am going to take sigma c in the equations. Now the maximum normal stress, which is given by sigma c by 2. Sigma c is just we calculated, so that is 81.1688 by 2 plus square root of sigma c by 2 whole square, that is 81.1688 by 2 whole square plus tau square, the shear stress which was calculated as 36.56 whole square. So if you are going to simplify this, then you will get the maximum shear stress induced or maximum normal stress induced in the screw, which is 95.21 megapascal. So if you are seeing this, the allowable stress in the screw material, is what? 109.53. So the maximum stress induced due to loading condition is 95. So that is, which is less than the allowable stress, that is 109.53 megapascal. So in the same way, if you are going to calculate the maximum shear stress, so tau max, which is given by, so instead of sigma I am going to use sigma c, square root of sigma c by 2 whole square, that is 81.1688 by 2 whole square plus tau square. Tau square is 36.56 whole square. If you are going to simplify this, then you will get 54.66 megapascal. 54.66 megapascal. This will be the maximum shear stress induced in the screw. Now let us see, so what will be the allowable shear stress in the screw material? So this will be the allowable shear stress, that is 54.765. So that is the induced stress which is less than allowable stress, that is 54.765 megapascal. So if you are observe these two equations, the induced normal stress and shear stress in the screw which is less than allowable, that is permissible normal stress and shear stress of the material. From this we can conclude the screw. So the designed screw which is safe. The screw is safe. If in case the induced normal stress or shear stress either of this one which is greater than the allowable stress, then we go for again to adopt the standard core area from that different major diameter, mean diameter and minor and pitch values of the screw thread material. Next we move on to design of nut. So here if you can see this diagram, so what we need to calculate. So this will be the major diameter of the nut, D of nut. So which is also calculated, which is already calculated, D of nut which is 34.5 millimeter. 34.5 millimeter. So which is already found out. Then, so the D1 that is the outer diameter of the nut. So we need to calculate this one, D1, and D2 that is the outer diameter of the nut flange. So this will be the nut flange to compensate the compressive load. So the nut flange which is provided for the nut. So this will be the outer diameter of the nut flange. Then H will be the thickness of the nut flange, and Ln that is the length of the nut. We need to calculate D1, D2, H and Ln. So they are given for the nut, they are given soft phosphorus bronze as a material. So then ultimate stress in tension and yield stress which is also given. So sigma ultimate in tension in ductile material, sigma ultimate in tension which is equal to sigma ultimate in compression as well as so for the ultimate stress we are going to take factor of safety as 6. Then for the yield stress we are going to take factor of safety as 3.5. So this will be for the yield stress and this will be for the ultimate stress in the nut material, just because they are not mentioned the factor of safety. If they are mentioned the factor of safety, then we have to use that particular value of factor of safety only. So now I am going to calculate the allowable stress of the material in tension, which is given by sigma y by factor of safety. Sigma y is how much? 138. So then factor of safety that should be taken 3.5, just because for the yield stress material I am assuming the factor of safety which is equal to 3.5. Then the allowable stress in tension for nut material which is given by 39.42 megapascal. Then similarly the allowable stress in compression for the net material which is given by sigma C of nut, which is given by sigma UC by factor of safety. Sigma UC that is 345, which is given 345, just because ultimate stress in tension which is equal to in compression sigma UC which is equal to 345, then factor of safety for ultimate stress we need to consider 6. Then from this you will get 57.5 megapascal. Sigma C of nut which is equal to 57.5 megapascal. Then allowable shear stress for the nut material which is given by 0.5 times of sigma T of nut. So that is 0.5 into sigma T of nut, that is 39.42. If you simplify this, then you will get 19.71 megapascal. So this will be the extracted data from the ultimate stress and the yield stress. Now first I am going to calculate the length of the nut. To calculate length of the nut, first I need the number of threads in the nut which is given by 4W by P PB times of pi into d square minus d1 square, d square minus d1 square. So which is available in the data handbook, that is 9.13a, 9.13a, page number 135, page number 135. If you observe this equation, the W value is known, D means major diameter of the screw thread, D1 is minor diameter of the screw thread, which is also known. Then the value of PB, that is bearing pressure, which is not given. So when they are not given the bearing pressure, then we have to refer table 9.5, page number 137. In the table we have to look for jack screw, bronze material, just because the nut which is made up of soft phosphorus bronze material, the bearing pressure which is in the range of 11 to 17.2 megapascal. In that I am going to take the average of these two, that is 14 megapascal. Now if you are going to substitute these values, then N, which is equal to 4 times W is 50 into 10 power 3 load. Then PB is 14 into 5, major diameter of the screw, which is 34 mm, 34 square, minus minor diameter of the screw, which is 28 mm, that is 28 square. If you are going to simplify this, then you will get 12.22, that is number of threads in the nut, which is 12.22. So we have to refer even number of thread. So for the even number of thread, I am going to take the next even number, that is N, which is equal to 14. N, which is equal to 14. Next even number. Now the length of the nut, Ln, which is given by N, that is the number of threads in the nut into pitch value. For this equation, if you are going to multiply the pitch, then you will get the length of the nut. So which is given by N is 14, then pitch value from the data and book, so which is 6 mm. So the length of the nut, you will get 84 millimeter. Next, so this one, the nut which is subjected to the tearing effect as well as the crushing effect and shearing effect. So for this, the tearing strength in the nut, which is given by sigma T of nut, which is equal to load by area. Area is given by pi by 4 times of d1 square minus d of nut square. So that is, if you are going to simplify this, sigma T of nut, which is given by W is 50 into 10 power 3, then pi by 4 times of d1 is unknown, so d of nut is known, d1 square minus d of nut is 34.5 whole square. So then sigma T of nut, which is also known, 39.42. So if you are going to simplify this, then you will get d1 value, which is equal to 52.29 approximately, which is 53 millimeter. So that means, due to the application of load, the nut which may be tear in between this region, that is D of nut and D1, the tearing may be occurs here. Then the crushing strength in the collar, which is given by sigma C of nut, so which is given by load by area, that is pi by 4 times of d2 square minus d1 square, d2 square minus d1 square. In this equation, sigma c of nut is known, w is known, d1 is also known. The only unknown thing is d2. Sigma c of nut is 57.5, which is equal to load is 50 into 10 power 3 pi by 4 d2 square minus d1 square is 53 whole square. So if you are going to simplify this, then you will get d2, which is equal to 62.57, that is approximately 63 mm. So that means, so this one, the collar which is subjected to the crushing. So from this we calculated the d2 value. Then shearing effect, shearing in collar which is given by tau of nut, which is given by load by pi d1 into h, pi d1 into h. Tau T of nut is 19.71. So W is 50 into 10 power 3, pi into d1 is 53. So the only unknown thing is h value, so which is given by 15.23, that is approximately equal to 16 millimeter. So then we have to check for nut. So in that, the transverse shear in nut, which is given by W by pi dt into n, pi dt into n. So that is W is 15 to 10 power 3 pi d. D is the major diameter of the screw, that is 34. T is the thickness of the thread, which is given by pitch by 2. So pitch value is 6 by 2 is 3 millimeter. Then n value. So n value is the number of threads in the nut, that is 14. So which is given by 14. If you simplify this, then you will get 11.14 megapascal. The allowable shear stress in the nut material, which is 19.71, that is less than the induced stress, which is less than the allowable stress, 19.71 megapascal. Though then similarly transverse shear in screw, which is given by load by pi d1t into n. So load is 15 to 10 power 3. So 5, d1 is minor diameter of the screw, that is 28, thickness is 3 mm, this will be 14. Then the induced stress, which is equal to 13.53 megapascal. So the induced shear stress in screw material, that is 13.53 megapascal, so which is less than the allowable shear stress in the screw material, that is 76 megapascal. So from this we can conclude that the stress induced in the nut and the screw, which is less than allowable shear stress in the nut as well as the screw. So from this, the design of the nut and the screw both are safe.